supposed to calculate magnetic field at the center of the two coils. At the center of circular coils. Let's name this coil as coil 1 and let's call this as coil 2. Now, can you tell me this coil 1 is in which plane? What is the plane of coil 1? Yes, what is the plane of coil 1? Is it an XY plane, YZ plane, XZ plane? Yes, Abdullah is correct. So this is XY plane. Your coil number 1 is in XY plane. This is XY. And your coil number 2 is in YZ plane. So let's first calculate magnetic field due to coil 1. Net magnetic field at the center will be the sum of magnetic fields due to both the coils. It is sum of B1 and B2. So when we calculate B1, what is the magnetic field at the center of the coil, Sania? Expression of magnetic field at the center of the coil. Sania, what's the expression of magnetic field at the center of the coil? Magnetic field, I'm asking. Formula, magnitude. Shahzada, what's the expression of magnetic field at the center of the circular coil?
So, mu naught.
Then? See, mu naught I by 2 Anna, we did this in the last lecture, like we solved this numerical on the same formula. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's mu naught I1 by twice of radius. It's not 4r, it's 2r, it's a complete circle. Sania, 4r is for semicircle. The radius is a. Mu naught I1 by 2a. That's first equation. Now, we have to decide the direction of the magnetic field. What's the direction of field, Ahmed? Ahmed, what's the direction of the field due to this current I1?
In this one, it is towards me, like upwards.
Upwards?
Yeah.
Using
No,
left hand
no,
or right hand?
downwards, downwards, downwards.
It's inwards. If you take right hand thumb rule, curl your finger along the current, the thumb is going inwards.
Yes, sir.
Magnetic field is inwards. So inwards means you can use unit vector minus of k cap. Minus of k cap. That's first equation. Now we need magnetic field due to the second coil. It's again a circular coil. You're calculating the magnetic field at the center again. Same relation. Just instead of I1, you will be using I2. And instead of A, you will be using B. So it's mu naught I2 by 2. Now you have to decide the direction of magnetic field, which is crucial. So first of all, decide the plane in which this coil is placed. This coil is placed perpendicular to it. If you have a bangle in your hand, or if you have your mobile phone, just put that mobile phone perpendicular to your notebook. I'm saying it again. Take your mobile phone or your bangle or ring, just placed it perpendicular to the notebook. This is the plane of the coil. Take your right hand, curl your finger along the current. Your current is going inwards. Curl your fingers in this way. Where is your thumb going? Right or left?
Right.
Take your right hand, curl your finger
Right.
inwards in this way.
Sir, left.
Left. It's going left first, right? Use right hand, not the left hand. Just take your right hand, curl your finger inwards. The thumb will go to the left. So the direction of magnetic field would be towards the left. magnetic field is towards the left. This is the direction of magnetic field. Towards the left means along negative x-axis, right? Means we can take unit vector minus of I cap. Negative x-axis means unit vector is minus I cap. So it's minus of I cap. Remember, this coil is not in the plane of your copy, this coil number 2. YZ plane means this plane, perpendicular to the plane of your copy. Take your mobile phone, put it perpendicular to the copy. That is the plane of your coil. And it's going inwards. This arrow means this arrow. This means it's inwards. It's going inwards. It's going in this way. So for net field, you can just add them up. It's sum of B1 and B2. It's sum of B1, which is mu naught I1 by 2A. It's minus of K cap. Plus it's mu naught I2 by 2B. It's minus of I cap. So this is the net magnetic field. So the net magnetic field is sum of magnetic fields due to both the coils, both the concentric coils. It's a net magnetic field. Yes, is it clear?
Sir.
Yes, no. Note it down. Abdullah, is it clear now? The plane of the coils?
Yes, sir.
Mariam, this is the first question that we have discussed, right? Okay. So now one last question. This would be your homework. Huh? So instead of straight wire, now I'm giving you arcs. So you have various arcs. So it goes like this. So it's nothing. It's nothing. So this is your system. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field at point O. Current is going in this way. Then current goes here. Then current goes here. Then current goes here. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field at O. this angle is pi by 3. Pi by 3. The radius of this arc is r, and the radius of this arc is 2r. You know how to calculate magnetic field due to a circular arc. This is the expression for the magnetic field due to a circular arc. This one. Mu naught I alpha by 4 pi r. This alpha is the angle. Here alpha is given, that alpha is 4 pi r, pi by 3. So calculate magnetic field due to this arc and then add them up. So that would be your homework.
So only do
Writing the
the
answer. Yes, only do that, because for the straight wire, the point lies on the axis. So magnetic field would be 0. So for both the straight wires, magnetic field would be 0. Your answer would be mu naught I into pi by 3 into 4 pi 2r minus k cap. This will be the final answer. Mu naught I by 4 pi into r into pi by 3, and it's plus k. This is your homework. This is the answer. After, just note it down. Then we will start magnetic field on the axis of a circuit. Last application of Biot-Savart law. My voice is low. Is it better now? Is it better now, Abdullah?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next is magnetic field. On the axis of circular coil. The next is the magnetic field on the axis of a circular coil. So you have a circular coil. It's placed in this way. So in which plane this coil is placed?
YC.
Why is it plane? And current is in this direction. Like current is going outwards. It's coming outwards. This is the center of the coil. The radius of the coil is r. You're supposed to calculate. We know the magnet expression of magnetic field at the center. We know that magnetic field at the center is this mu naught I by 2r. We don't calculate magnetic field at the center now. Instead, we will be calculating magnetic field at a point on the axis. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field at this is center of the coil. This is the small current element, which is dl. This is the small current element dl. That's the direction of dl. This coil is placed perpendicular to the plane of your copy, and current is coming outwards. So this dl is outwards now. See, this diagram should be 3-dimensional and my copy is 2-dimensional. So remember, this direction, this is coming outwards. It's coming out of the plane of the coil. Supposed to get, and this separation is given as x. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field at. So consider a small element dl. This is my small element dl. Due to this small element dl, I have to calculate magnetic field at point A. So magnetic field at A, magnetic field at A due to dl. I need to calculate magnetic field at A due to dl. So due to dl, magnetic field at A is dB, which is mu naught by 4 pi. It's I. Now I need separation between dl and A. The separation between dl and A is R. This R is the separation between dl and A now. So it's mu naught by 4 pi I. It's dl cross R over R cube. This is magnetic field due to this small current element dl at point A. It's mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R by R cube. The direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to R. So this is the magnetic field due to this small current element dl. I'm repeating again. You're supposed to calculate the magnetic field due to the complete coil at A. So what we did is we consider a small element on the coil dl. The direction of dl is outwards because the coil is placed perpendicular to the plane of your copy. Current is coming outwards. So that is the direction of dl. So due to this dl, you can calculate magnetic field at A. So it's mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R over R cube. dl and R, and the direction of this magnetic field is perpendicular to R. So this is R. So this will be the direction of magnetic field now, perpendicular to R. Next, we have to open this cross product. It's mu naught over 4 pi. It's I. See, dl cross R, we can write this as dl into R into sine 90, because this R is in the plane of the coil. This R is in XY plane. This dl is outwards, means this dl is along the z axis. So z axis and XY plane are perpendicular to each other. That's why this R and this dl are perpendicular. When I open the cross product, I write dl R sine 90 divided by R cube. This R will cancel this cube and you are left with square only. So the magnetic field is only, it's mu naught over 4 pi. It's I dl over R square. That is my first equation. This is the magnetic field due to the small element only. But I need magnetic field due to a complete coil. So can anyone tell me how can we calculate the magnetic field due to the complete coil using magnetic field of dl only?
Integrate dB.
Before integrating this dB, we have to check whether magnetic field due to all dl elements are in the same direction or not. We can integrate only if all dB are acting in same direction. Remember this statement. We can integrate dB if all dB. All dB means magnetic field due to all dl elements are in same direction. Then only we can integrate, otherwise not. So due to this dl element, this dB is here. Now take another element here. This dl. Okay, can you just guess how many dl we have throughout the coil? If I start counting the number of dl,
Infinite.
we'll be having infinite dl, right? So you have a coil, you can take infinite number of small elements throughout the coil. You will have infinite dls. Okay. So we have to check whether magnetic fields due to each of the dl element is in same direction or not. One dl is here, another dl is here. You can take one more dl here. You can take one more dl here. Throughout the coil, you can take infinite number of dl elements, and then you will be checking direction of magnetic field due to each of the individual dl. So this is the DL element. Okay. Shazada, can you guess the direction of DL element? See, this is perpendicular. This coil is just take your mobile phone, place your mobile phone perpendicular to your notebook, and your current is going in this way. It's coming out of the plane and then going its inwards again. So Shazada, can you guess the direction of this DL element? If this DL is outwards, then what should be the direction of this DL? Yes, Shazada.
So to the right.
Right? Okay. I think you don't. You're not getting how this coil is placed, huh? See, first of all, the plane should be very clear in which plane this is placed. Shazada, this coil is placed in the plane of your copy or it is perpendicular to the plane of your copy?
It's a plane.
It's perpendicular to the plane of your copy. If this is your notebook, then this coil is placed in this way. If this is your notebook, this one, then your coil is placed perpendicular in this way. Take your mobile phone, Shazada, and put that mobile phone perpendicular to your notebook.
Yes, sir.
That is the plane of your coil, okay? Your coil is not in the plane of your copy, it's perpendicular to the plane of your copy. Now tell me, if current from one end of your mobile phone is coming out of the copy, then what will be the direction of current for the next end?
So it will be to the left then.
It will be to the
Left.
left. It's placed in this way.
So current will be inwards at the other point.
Should be inwards at the other point. See, this is it. From one end, current is coming out. Then to the other end, it should go inwards, right?
Yes,
Just-
sir. Inward.
Just note it down. Let me find some animation for this. Note it down. Look for one animation. Okay, so it's prayer time. We'll continue it after 5 to 7 minutes, huh? After namaz.
Okay, so now
Abdullah, it's not eye gap. We'll continue it after the namaz.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the coil. Like, Shazada, I'm audible?
yes, sir.
This is the coil for which we are calculating magnetic field. This is coil which is placed perpendicular to the plane of your copy. Okay. If this is your copy, this table is your copy, then coil is placed perpendicular to your copy. Now understand what I mean by perpendicular. It's not in the plane of the copy. If it is in the plane of the copy, that means lying in the copy. The way this stool is placed, this stool is in the plane of your table. Now, current is going in this way. It's coming outwards. So Shazada, if current is going in this way, right? So current is going in this way. This is the way the current is going. So if current is coming outwards here, then what is the direction of current here, Shazada? If it is coming outwards, it's coming outwards in this way. Then what should be the direction of current here? Yes, Shazada, can you? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Where?
Direction of current will be to the this side. Inwards.
Inwards, right? See, this is how the current is flowing. Okay. Just look at this animation. From this side, the current will go inwards, right? Current will go inwards. This is how the coil is placed perpendicular to the plane of your copy. This coil is placed in this way. It's perpendicular to your copy. Your current is going outwards at this end. So at this end, your current will go inwards. Current is inwards. And this is the point A at which I'm trying to calculate the magnetic field. Is it clear now, Shazada?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
This is the center of the coil. This is the point, and this separation is X. This separation from DL to point P, I'm calling it as R. Abdullah Salam, current is along minus K cap, right? Abdullah, current is along minus K cap. Nah? It's going inwards. This DL is coming outwards here and going inwards. Is it clear, everyone? This animation is clear? That how this coil is placed, Mariam, Sania? Abdullah, even according to our figure, your current is inwards. See, if I go back to our figure, like if I go back to this, see, the current is coming outwards, right? If it is coming outwards from here, outwards means K cap, then here it should go inwards. No? This DL is outwards. I cannot draw outwards on a two-dimensional board. That's why I'm drawing it in this way. This is outwards. So here, the direction of DL should be inwards. This DL is inwards now. Abdullah, is it clear now? So long minus K cap.
Sir, I'm trying to do it.
See,
One second.
this coil is placed perpendicular, right? You understand that this at this point the current is outwards?
Yes, sir. Even I took a bangle to understand
Ah.
more.
So you take a bangle, put it over your notebook in this way. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've done the same thing. But I'm
done the
waiting
same
to
thing.
do it.
So if this is how you have placed your bangle over your copy, right?
Yes, sir.
So it's going outwards, na? This is outwards, right?
Yes, sir.
So over this point where the current should go, it should go inwards.
Yes, sir. Oh, that one will go inwards.
That's what I'm saying. If you want, I can just see this is how the current is going. If at this point it's going outwards, then at this point the current will seems to go in. This is your DL element, it's going outwards. Outwards at this point. It's going outwards. Then at this point, at this particular end, your current seems to go in inverse direction. So first DL is outwards and second is inwards. Now this arrow is outwards. Huh? It's coming out of the plane and this is inwards. Now, if this is X and this is R, by the symmetry of problem, this separation will also be R. And magnetic field into the second element, see, if you want to calculate the magnitude of R, then this is a right angle triangle. This is perpendicular and this is base. Sania, what should be the value of small r in terms of capital R and X? Sania? Sania, what should be the value of small r in terms of capital R and X? The Pythagoras theorem, use Pythagoras theorem asking on the hypotenuse.
Sir, can you repeat the question again?
Yes, I'm asking in this right angle triangle, this is X and this is capital R. What should be this R? What should be the value of this R?
R square plus is equal to capital R square plus X
X
square.
square. Similarly, in this case also, your small r is just root over r square plus x square. So see, both the r's are same. Magnetic field is perpendicular to r. It is perpendicular to this r here. So the magnetic field due to this element BB is perpendicular to this r here. So both the magnetic fields are in opposite direction. If both the magnetic fields are in opposite direction, then you can't integrate. You can integrate only if all dB, all magnetic field due to small elements are in same directions. So just note it down, then we will see how to solve this problem if it can't be integrated right now. Note it down. Okay, finally you got the direction. Yes, it's minus k capital, all right. Noted? Can I scroll further? Mariam?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now, since both the magnetic fields are in different directions, you cannot integrate it right now. So let's take magnetic field due to another DL element, another diametrically opposite element DL is also the same magnetic field. It's also dB, which is mu naught by 4 pi ideal over r square. The magnetic field is same again. It's the same magnetic field due to this element also. But they're acting in different directions. So to solve these type of problems, what we do, we take components of dB. Let's call this angle as theta. By the symmetry of problem, this angle should also be theta. It's a symmetrical problem. If you have theta, then you can easily resolve it. You can take one component of dB here, which is dB cos theta, and another component of dB here, which is dB sin theta. Similarly, we can take one component of dB here, which is dB cos theta. And you can take another component of dB here, which is dB sin theta. Now, both dB cos theta are acting in same direction. So can we add them up algebraically? See, dB cos theta are acting in same direction. Okay, now tell me, how many dB we have? How many DL we have? Finite or infinite?
Infinite.
Infinite.
All agree that we have infinite DL?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So how many dB should we have?
infinite.
Infinite.
We have
Right.
infinite dB. So we have infinite dBs. Out of those infinite dB, I'm here showing only 2. I'm showing only 2 dB here. That doesn't mean we have only 2 dB. We have infinite dBs. I cannot draw all of them. So these are not just 2 dB cos theta. They are infinite number of dB cos theta. If you take infinite elements on this coil, you will have infinite DL. You will have infinite dB. For all dBs, cos theta will point in this direction. So all dB cos theta will be in this direction. All dB sin theta will be in opposite directions. One last time, how many dB cos theta we have? 2 or infinite?
Infinite.
Infinite.
Infinite dB cos theta. And how many dB sin theta we have?
Infinite.
And if you can see, all dB sin thetas are acting in opposite direction. So if they are acting in opposite directions, Mariam, so they will get added up or they will cancel each other?
Cancel each other.
So it's very clear that along y-axis, all this dB sin theta component of magnetic field will cancel each other, but along x-axis, they will get added up. So you can write this as net magnetic field, magnetic field, net magnetic field along y-axis, dby, or not dby, by is combination of all dB sine theta. So what will happen if you combine all dB sine theta? They will add it up or they will cancel out each other. Shahzada, these two dB sine theta will get added up or they will cancel out.
So they'll get added up.
They will cancel out, right? They are acting in opposite direction. So they will cancel out and you will get By equal to 0. Third equation. Shahzada, what about the x component? Net magnetic field along x-axis. Yes, Shahzada. What about the x component? All dB cos theta will get cancelled out. They will get added up now.
So now they'll get added up.
They will get added up. So you can say that magnetic field along x-axis is integral of dB cos theta. That is equation number 4. So dB is mu naught by 4 pi ideal by r square. I just need this cos theta now. So for cos theta, we can use this triangle. This triangle OA. Let's name this point as some n. Let's call this as n. In triangle OAN. See, if this is theta and this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So this angle would be 90 degree, right? This is 90 degree. If this is theta, then how much is this angle?
90 minus theta.
The sum of these two angles is 90 degrees. So this will be 90 minus theta. Now see, this R and B, this angle is 90 degree. If this is 90 minus theta, then how much is this angle?
90 minus theta.
This whole is 90 degree, na? This much is 90 minus theta. Mariam, how much is this?
180 minus.
See, this total is 90 degree.
minus-
Okay, theta,
90 minus 90 minus theta.
Theta.
90 plus 90 minus theta.
Yes, 90 minus theta. So that will be theta only. See, if total angle is 90 degree, I'm drawing it here also. This derivation is a bit lengthy and confusing. See, this is your dB, okay, and this is your R. They are perpendicular. I'm saying this angle is 90 minus theta. If they are perpendicular, this angle should be theta. That's why I'm taking this as theta. Again, you have x-axis and you have y-axis and this line R. If this angle is theta, then how much should be this angle?
90 minus theta.
They are perpendicular. That should be 90 minus theta. If this is theta, then this should be 90 minus theta. This is 90 degree. Now, how much this angle should be? In a triangle, the sum of all angles is 180 degree. If this is 90 minus theta, then this angle should be theta. If this is theta, then the sum of all is 180. Theta plus 90 minus theta will be 180. So you get that the value of this angle is theta. I'm repeating again. See, this line and this line, they are perpendicular. If this angle is theta, then this should be 90 minus theta. Now this dB and this R are mutually perpendicular. I have drawn it here. This is dB and this is R. They are mutually perpendicular. If this angle is 90 minus theta, then this should be theta. Sum of two angles is 90 degree. Now, this is theta. So this should be 90 minus theta. This is x-axis and this is y-axis. They are perpendicular. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. If this is theta, then this should be 90 minus theta. Now this is a right angle triangle. One angle is 90, one is 90 minus theta. So another should be theta. Then only the sum of all angles would be 180 degree. So can you calculate cos theta from this triangle in OAN? What should be the value of cos theta here, Noor? Yes, Noor. What should be the value of cos theta in this triangle OAN?
Capital R by small r.
Capital R by small r. Cos theta is based upon hypotenuse. It's capital R by small r. So in triangle OAN, we can say that cos theta is it's capital R by small r. Let's call this as equation number 5. Now what we can do is we can substitute the value of dB from this equation 2 and the value of cos theta from equation number 5. So let's substitute 2 and 5 in 4. 2 and 5. 2 and 5 in 4. 5 in 4. We can substitute equation number 2 and 5 in 4. Abdullah, it's based upon hypotenuse, na?
The hypotenuse will be x, right?
Hypotenuse will be r. Its hypotenuse is perpendicular to the 90-degree angle.
Oh, sorry, sir.
So cos theta is capital R by R. That we can substitute here. When we do all this substitution, we will get bx is its integral of db. See, how much is db? db is mu naught by 4 pi ideal by r square. It's mu naught by 4 pi. It's ideal by r square. And what is cos theta? It's capital R by small r. So you can say that your bx is it's mu naught by 4 pi. It's ideal capital R by r cube. So bx is it's mu naught by 4 pi. It's IR by r cube. It's integral of dl. Now, if I integrate this dl, like if I integrate this dl, small element dl, what will I get, Mariam? If I integrate this dl over the complete coil, then what would I get? Okay, no answer from Mariam. I will get not pi r square.
2 pi r, 2 pi.
2 pi r. We'll get total length of the coil. Integrating over dl means you're adding all dl on this coil. You're adding all dl over this coil. When you add all dl over this coil, you will get the total circumference of the coil, which is 2 pi r. So you can write this as bx is it's mu naught by 4 pi. It's IR by r cube. dl, you can write this as 2 pi r. So magnetic field on the x-axis, it's mu naught I r square. See, this 2 pi will cancel this 4 pi, it's 2 divided by 2 r cube. And see, this small r is using Pythagoras, it's r square plus x square. So I can write this small r is it's root over r square plus x square. Or we can write this as r square plus x square to the power half. When I do these substitutions, bx you will get it's mu naught I r square by twice of r cube. It's r square plus x square to the power, to the power half, and then it's cube. So you can write this as that bx comes out to be it's mu naught IR square by 2, it's r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. This is bx. So net magnetic field B will be the sum of bx and by. So the net magnetic field B is the sum of bx. Bx is mu naught IR square by 2 r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 plus by is 0. So that's your net magnetic field B. So the net magnetic field on the axis of coil is mu naught IR square by 2 r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. Now, if your coil have n turns, if coil have n turns, if your coil have n turns, then simply multiply it with n. It's mu naught Ni r square over twice of r square plus x square to the power 3. This is the magnetic field on the axis of a circular coil. Now, this coil have this derivation have one confusing step, and that is this, the angle. I'm repeating it again. I'm drawing it again. Listen, don't try to memorize derivations. You can't write it in exam if you try to memorize them. You have number of derivations. You have 70, 80 derivations in your syllabus. You cannot memorize all of them. So you should know each and every step, the reason of each and every step. Then only you can write them in exams. So see, this is your dB cos theta. Fine. This is your y-axis and this is your dB. This angle we take as theta. They are perpendicular. So this angle should be 90 minus theta. That's why this is 90 minus theta. Now if I take R and dB, that I can draw here. This is not this. This is R. And this is dB. If this angle is 90 minus theta and they are perpendicular, that means this angle should be theta. That's why I take this as theta. Now it's clear, like this dB sine theta and this is horizontal. They are perpendicular. If this is theta, then they should be 90 minus theta. And it's a right angle triangle. This is 90, this is 90 minus theta. Then the angle, left out angle should be theta. Draw it, draw all these angles. Is it clear? Noor,
Yes, sir.
Mariam? This is a very important derivation, a 5-marker question.
Yes, sir.
If you look at the last 5-7 years paper, then you will find this derivation at least 3 times. Very high probability of getting this derivation in your final exams. Note it down. Then we will be discussing the direction of the magnetic field, what is the direction of magnetic field. You've already noted this thing, huh? Can I scroll further? Yes, no, I'm coming to the direction of dB. Yes. No, just note it down at the end of the derivation. I will explain how to get the direction of dB.
Okay, sir. Done, sir.
And please don't take screenshot in classes, huh? You won't be able to write this derivation in your exam until you write it at least 2 or 3 times. You write it by your hand. Noted?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question of Noor is how to get the direction of this magnetic field. See, Noor, for the direction of magnetic field, I'm using two concepts simultaneously. Like I'm using the fact that magnetic field is perpendicular to R, one thing. Second, right hand term. See, if current is outwards, this is outwards, and I take a point here. Let's say I take a point here. This is R. Then you have to decide what is the direction of magnetic field. So let's check what are the different probabilities for the direction of magnetic field. magnetic field has to be perpendicular to R. So perpendicular to R means it's either go in this direction or it can go in this direction. Because when we use cross product, like when I write mu naught by 4 pi I dl cross R by R cube, that means this dB is perpendicular to R as well as dl. So for perpendicular to R, we have these two probabilities. Is it clear, Noor?
Yes, sir.
Now we just have to decide that out of these two, which is the correct probability. For that, you can use right hand thumb rule. Take your right hand and place your thumb outwards. If you place your thumb outwards, then the curvature of your finger will go here. Take your thumb, place it outwards in this way. When you put your thumb outwards, your curvature of finger is going upwards in the same plane. Your thumb is outwards, the curvature of finger is upwards. So using this right hand thumb rule, I decided that the magnetic field should not be in this direction. Magnetic field should be in this direction because my fingers are curling in this way. So this curvature of the finger is telling that magnetic field is upwards. Is it clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Similarly, no, if current is inwards here, then over this point, this is our magnetic field should be perpendicular. If you look at the curvature of finger, take your thumb, put it in inwards, and the curvature is downwards. This is the curvature of a finger. Then this is the curvature. And remember, R and dB are always perpendicular. So you won't take here, you won't take it here. You will always take it to be perpendicular to R. So this is how I decided the direction of magnetic field. Okay, so that was magnetic field on the axis of a
Sir,
circular
can you
coil.
explain the direction again?
Yes. See, this is your coil. Over this point, the current is going outwards. For the current going outwards at this point, you're supposed to get the magnetic field at A. So what I did is, I take an element which is going outwards and I take this point as A. So I take my right hand, put my thumb outwards, and just check the curvature of your finger, Ahmed, where the curvature is going. It's going upwards, downwards, leftwards, rightwards, where this curvature is going. Ahmed.
Upward.
Upwards. You know that magnetic field is somewhere here, either here, here, or here. But magnetic field should always be perpendicular to R. It should always be perpendicular to R. That's why I take this magnetic field here. It's perpendicular to R only. I don't take it here. I don't take it here. I take it here because this direction is perpendicular to R. Similarly, for this element, Ahmed, this element. For this element, your current is going inwards, and this is the point. This is going inwards, and this is point A. Now again, apply right hand thumb. We'll take your thumb, put it inwards, and see where the curvature of finger is going. It's upwards or downwards?
Downwards.
Take it, put it inwards. This is the curvature of finger, downwards. That means your magnetic field is somewhat here. But the exact direction can be calculated using the fact that R and dB should be perpendicular. So this is how I get the direction of these magnetic fields. Okay. Now I need direction of the net field, where the net field is going, because Y component gets cancelled out. The thing which is left is only X component. So the net magnetic field is acting in this direction. This is the direction of the net magnetic field. Your net magnetic field is acting in this direction. This is the direction of the net magnetic. In this direction, your net magnetic field is acting. So this is the direction of magnetic field. So if you want to get the direction of net magnetic field using right hand thumb rule, that you can do one thing, like for this coil, you want to calculate the direction of B directly. You want to get the direction of B without the direction of DB, then do one thing. For this coil, what's the direction of current for this coil? Is it inwards, outwards? For the direction of current? Current is coming outwards. Current is going outwards. So take your right hand, curl your finger to the right hand side direction and tell me where the thumb is going. I'm drawing it here again. So this is done. This is your coil. This is the direction of current here, and this is the direction of current here. So your current is going in this way, it's coming outwards and then inwards. Take your right hand, curl your finger in this way, outwards and inwards, in this way. Where's the thumb going? Abdullah, what's the direction
Right.
of the thumb? Right, okay.
So it's left.
Left, okay. Take your right hand, curl your finger along the current. The current is going outwards. What's the direction of, in which direction the thumb is pointing?
Right.
Right. Mariam,
Sir, outwards.
outwards. You still have that bangle with you, Abdullah?
Yes, sir.
Just curl your finger along with the bangle and see your thumb. Where is it going? Right, left, down, up. Where is it going, Abdullah? Otherwise, I have to open that animation again. Yes,
Right.
Abdullah.
Right.
Right. Okay. Fine. If it's going right, then it's okay. Mariam, just take your right hand, curl your finger outwards. Where your thumb is going? Right, left, up, down.
Sir, up.
Up it's going. Sania. Is Sania in the class? Yes. Right. Mariam, it should go right. Like your current is perpendicular to the plane of your copy. Take a bangle, place that bangle perpendicular to the plane of your copy, and then curl your finger in this way. Your finger should curl out of your copy. Take your right hand, Mariam,
Yes.
and put it on your copy in this way, on your notebook. Okay? And curl it outwards. Curl it towards you. Where is your thumb going?
To the right.
Right. That's the direction of the current. Current is not revolving in the plane of your notebook. Current is revolving perpendicular to the plane of your notebook. It's revolving outwards. So thumb will go to the right hand side. So that is the direction of magnetic field. Shahzada, are you getting the direction to the right? Here also the direction of magnetic field is to the right hand side. This is how we decide the direction of magnetic field. So for the direction of magnetic field, we are using the same modified right hand thumb rule that we have already discussed in circular coil yesterday. This same. Curl your finger along the sense of current, thumb will give the direction of magnetic field. I'm using the same rule. The direction is to the right hand side. Just note this direction. Then we will start something else. We'll start Ampere-Circuit. That was the last application on Biot-Savart's law. Biot-Savart's law is over. The next is Ampere-Circuit. Noor, in this is anti-clockwise. It's anti-clockwise. Your clock will go this way. No? Yeah, this is anti-clockwise.
Okay, sir.
So that was about Biot-Savart's law. After Biot-Savart, the most important derivation in Biot-Savart's law is this. It's a 5-marker question, magnetic field on the axis of a coil. After Biot-Savart's law, the next is, okay, let's do one question on this Biot-Savart's law. So you have 2 coils. One is placed in this way. Another is placed in this way. Another coil is placed in this way. Mariam, can you tell me the plane of each coil? In which plane this coil is placed? What's the plane of the first coil, Mariam?
The down one or the
This one, this up. Plane of this
why
coil.
is it plane?
This coil is in YZ plane. This is in YZ plane. and that is the direction of current. And what is the plane of this coil? This is an exit plane, and the current is going in this way. Okay? Current is going in this way. The radius of this coil is A. The radius of this coil is B. Both are carrying some current I. This separation is X, and this is also X. We can calculate magnetic field over here. This is coil 1, and this is coil 2. For coil 1, this is the magnetic field due to first coil B1, and this is the magnetic field due to the second coil, which is B2. You can use right hand thumb rule to get this direction. For the direction for the coil in YZ plane, just curl your fingers right outwards. Your thumb will go to the right hand side, so that's B1. For the second coil, just curl your thumb in this way. Coil, exit plane coil is placed in this way. This is in this way. So just take your right hand, curl your fingers in this way. The thumb is going upwards. So the direction of magnetic field is upwards here. So the net, this is point, let's say this is point O. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field at. Magnetic field at. Once you get the direction, everything is straightforward now. The net magnetic field at O is the sum of magnetic field due to coil 1 and magnetic field due to coil 2. For coil 1, the magnetic field is this. This is the expression mu naught Ni r square by 2r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. This is mu naught Ni r square. The radius of the first coil is B. So it's B square by twice of B square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. What is x? The separation of center of the coil with the point. That's x. Its direction is to the x-axis. You can use I cap. Similarly, for B2, it's mu naught Ni a square by twice of its a square plus x square to the power
So why are you using NI? Like, why are you using N?
n. I'm assuming it has some number of turns. I have not written the whole numerical. In the question, it was given it have n turns. That's why. And then the direction is along y-axis, so we can use j cap here. So the net magnetic field, we can simply add them up. We can just add them. So this will be mu naught Ni b square by twice of b square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 I cap plus mu naught Ni a square by twice of a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 j cap. Okay, if I ask you to calculate the magnitude of field, how will you calculate the magnitude of field, Abdullah? This is the net field in I cap and j cap notation. If I ask you to get the magnitude of field, what will you do?
Root of B1 square plus B2 square.
Very good. It's root over this square plus this square. It's mu naught Ni b square over twice of its b square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 whole square plus its mu naught Ni a square over twice of its a square plus x square to the power 3 by 2 whole square. This is the net magnetic field due to the complete coil. This is net field. Note it down. Let's note it down. Yes, can I change the slide? Scroll it further.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that completes your Barrett-Savitz law. Now do one thing. In the last month you had your first test, right? In the first test, this was in your syllabus, this Barrett-Savitz law and everything. Do you have that question paper?
Yes, sir.
It's your homework to solve that question paper. Try to solve all questions based on Barrett-Savitz law in that paper. Does anyone remember any question on Barrett-Savitz law which was in that paper? Yes, was there any question on Barrett-Savitz law in that paper?
Yes, sir. There was.
Okay. Do you have any question, that question paper? Can you WhatsApp me that question paper? If any one of you have that now. Yes. Does anyone have that question paper?
Yes, sir.
Please send it to me. I will, we'll discuss some questions. So I'm waiting for that question paper. Just send that question paper. We'll discuss some questions in class. Just WhatsApp that. Let's solve some questions from your unit test. Then we will start Ampere circuit law. Ampere circuit law is like Gauss law. It's much easier than Barrett-Savitz law. Noor, you're sending?
Yes, sir. I sent on your WhatsApp.
Yes, you have sent. Okay. Is it? It's okay. Let's see if you can solve this paper. So this was one question on magnetic field. Just read this question and tell me where you are supposed to calculate the magnetic field, at the center or on the axis. Try to solve it, the first part. Try to solve the first part. This is the loop. This is the circular loop. And you're supposed to calculate magnetic field at the center. Or leave it. You can solve it. You can do this first part. You just have to calculate the magnetic field at the center. Mariam, what is the expression of magnetic field at the center of the loop? Mariam, magnetic field at the center. No answer. Sania? Mu naught I divided by 2r. So in this question, this is I is given, R is given. So you can easily calculate the magnetic field here. Second part, what happens to the magnetic field at the center of the coil when we double the radius of the coil, keeping the current unchanged? If you double the radius, then what will happen with the magnetic field? It will become half, because radius in the denominator. If you double the radius, it gets half. The strength of magnetic field around finite current carrying conductor is See, do you remember any expression for magnetic field for an infinite conductor? Yes. Does any one of you remember any expression for magnetic field for a long conductor?
U0 I by 2I.
2 pi.
Not I by 2 pi. So how it varies with A? It's directly proportional or inversely proportional to A?
Inversely
Inverse.
proportional.
It's inversely proportional to A. So B goes as inversely proportional to A. Next. Okay, this is force on a charged particle that we will do. Trajectory we will do. This was an electric field. Kirchhoff law. Yes. So this is question number 14. Huh? Question number 14. You're supposed to calculate magnetic field at point O. Where is this point O, Shahzada, for both the coils? This point O is at the axis or it's at the center? This O.
So it's at the center.
At the center. Okay. Sania, what do you think? Where is this point O? At the axis of the two coils or at the center of the two coils?
Center.
Center. If this is a coil, what is the center of the coil? This is the center of the coil or this is the center of the coil?
So this is the center that's on the axis.
Which one? O1 is center or O2 is center?
O1.
O1 is center.
O1 is center. So if I'm asking, this is one coil and calculate magnetic field at here. This is center of the coil.
No, no.
For me, center is here.
No,
So where is it? Center or axis?
Axis.
And how much is this separation?
R.
How much is this separation? R.
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 So if you want to calculate the magnetic field at O, what you will do? You will take magnetic field on the axis of both the coils. The expression that we just have done, like mu naught IR square by twice of R square plus X square to the power 3 by 2. Current is clockwise. Can you give me the direction of magnetic field? Clockwise means it's going into the plane. What is the direction of magnetic field due to this coil at point O? Right, left, up, down?
Left.
Towards.
Left. Left. Current is going inwards. Take your right hand, curl it inwards. Take your right hand, curl it inwards,
Yes, sir.
and your thumb will go to the left hand side.
Yes.
This is B1.
So we will use the axis formula, right?
Yes, we'll draw the axis formula. For both the coils, magnetic field would be the same direction. Both are clockwise. Now for both, just curl your finger inwards. Your magnetic field to the left hand side. Just take magnetic field for both the coils and add them up. That's it. See, if you just follow my notes properly, you won't have a single question or exam that you don't know. See, using Barr-Sever's law, find the magnetic field at point axis of a circular current carrying coil. So this is the derivation that we just have did. It's 3-mark question. Should be a 5-mark. This is the derivation that we just did. Magnetic field on the axis of circular current carrying coil. This is not yet done. This is not yet done. Magnetic field. This is just to show that the paper is not very, your paper is not very straightforward. They won't ask only formulas. They will have good numericals. Like that's a good numerical. But whatever you will get in a school exam, that will not be out of these notes. If you can just follow these notes and assignments, you will each and every question of a final exam, you know. Anyways, so that was about Biot-Savart's law. So after Biot-Savart's law, the next is Ampere-Circuital law. The next is Ampere-Circuital law. So see, what is Ampere-Circuital law? Ampere-Circuital law is just Gauss law. It's just like Gauss law. So Ampere-Circuital law says if you have a closed loop and some current is passing through the loop, you have a closed loop and some current is passing through the loop. So it's like you have a ring and some current and a wire is passing through the ring. Wire is not current is not flowing in this ring. It's just a ring, circular ring. In this ring, a wire is passing through the ring. The current is flowing through the wire. So it's a very simple thing. Like you can take one bangle or you can take one ring, take a wire or your pen, place that pen inside that bangle or inside that ring. Current is passing through the pen. Current is not passing through the bangle. Current is not passing through the ring. I just take a ring and this is the current passing through. Ampere's circuital law says if some current I is passing through it, and if I take line integral of magnetic field. So see, this current carrying wire will generate some magnetic field. Let's say that magnetic field is B. I don't know what is the expression of this magnetic field, but I at least know if you have a current carrying wire, then that current carrying wire will of course generate some magnetic field. That magnetic field is this. I'm taking this wire in some arbitrary shape. It's not a straight wire. It could be wire of any shape or size. So I cannot calculate the exact direction of B, but there is some B here. Then what I did is I take a small element of this loop. I call that element as DL. Let's say the direction of the loop is clockwise. Is this clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Anti-clockwise.
I take the direction of loop to be anti-clockwise. This is the direction of DL. This is the direction of DL. If you take line integral, of B dot DL, this is the line integral. Line integral means take dot product of B with a small element of the loop and integrate it over the complete. This closed sign here says that this is a closed loop is equal to mu naught times the total current I passing through the loop. Some current I is passing through the loop. So it's mu naught times the total current I in closed parallel. B dot DL is mu naught times the current I in closed parallel. This is Ampere's circuital law. I'm repeating it again. You have a closed loop. It could be a ring. It could be a bangle or something. It's a closed loop. Through this closed loop, a wire is passing and some current is passing through the wire. Current is not passing through the loop. Current is passing through the wire. This wire will generate some magnetic field. Now you have to take the line integral of magnetic field over the complete wire. So for line integral, what we do, we take a small element of the wire. We call it as DL. This is some direction of the loop. The direction of how we take the direction of loop that we will discuss in the next section. This is some direction of the loop. I'm saying it again. This is direction of loop, not the current. This is direction of loop, not current. Yes, Noor, this is some loop, is an imaginary loop, right? But it should be a closed loop, huh? And you are calculating line integral over this loop only.
Okay, sir.
So the line integral of this is the line integral of magnetic field B dot DL. Take dot product of magnetic field with a line element over the loop, small dl, integrate it over the complete loop, over the complete closed loop. This is equal to mu naught times the current I in closed parallel. So Ampere's circuital law says line integral of magnetic field according to Ampere's circuital law according to Ampere circuital law, line integral of magnetic field, line integral of magnetic field along a closed loop is mu naught times the total current I times the total current I enclosed by the loop. Total current I enclosed by the loop. This B dot dl is what we call line integral of magnetic field. This is line integral of magnetic. Note it down. We'll do some straightforward questions on this concept. Then you will understand this law. Noted. Can I scroll further?
Yes, sir.
That's the statement of Ampersand. There is one more rule for the direction of loop. Now you have to decide the direction of the loop. How I choose the direction to be anti-clockwise, not to be clockwise. Direction of loop. So for direction of loop, the rule is very simple. Take your thumb, right hand, place your thumb in the direction of current. The curvature of finger will give you the direction of loop. Place your thumb of right hand along the current curvature of finger will give direction of loop. This curvature of finger will give you the direction of the loop now. So let's say this is the direction of current and this is your loop. Sania, what is the plane of the loop? Plane of this loop? Yes, Sania, what is the plane of this loop? X, Y, Y, Z, X, Z. Okay, Sania is not in meeting. Shazada, what is the plane of this loop? X, Y, Y, Z, X, Z.
So it's exit.
Exit plane. Good. Now do one thing. So exit plane means this plane. So if I ask you to place your hand in XY plane, you will place it in this way. This is XY plane. If I ask you to place your hand in YZ plane, you put it like there in this way. But if I ask you to place your hand in exit plane, then we'll put it in this way. This is exit plane or this is exit plane. That's the exit plane. So this is the plane of your loop. You loop in this way and your current is going upwards. So for the direction of loop, do one thing. Take your right hand, place your thumb upwards. Put your thumb in the upwards direction. So how is the curvature of your finger? Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? Put your thumb upwards and tell me, how is the curvature of these fingers? Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Anti-clockwise.
Yeah,
Anti-clockwise. Everyone. Yes, Mariam. Are you also getting anti-clockwise? Mariam.
Yes.
So what's the sense of the loop? Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
The anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise. So, right. So that's the direction. Shahzada, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So that's the direction of loop. This is how we decide the direction of loop. Let's take one more example. If I says that the current is downwards, downwards. Yes, Mariam. Can you decide the direction of loop now? Put your thumb in the downwards direction and just see the curvature of the finger. Yes, Mariam. What's the sense of the loop now?
So towards the right.
Loop sense of loop. I'm just asking, is it clockwise or anti-clockwise?
So it's clockwise.
It's clockwise. Yes, it will be clockwise. Now just put your thumb in the downwards direction. The curvature is clockwise. So this is the direction of loop. Direction of loop. It's clockwise. Without direction of loop, you cannot solve numericals of Ampere's-Circuital law. Here it's anti-clockwise. Note it down. Then we'll do a question from the previous years of CBSE. And in that question, only the right hand thumb rule you will be using. That question is simply based on right hand thumb rule, nothing else. Note it down. Written?
Yes, sir.
So this is the question. Question is, you have a loop. Loop of this shape. Some loop of some arbitrary shape. Let's draw a loop of some arbitrary shape. This is the loop. And in this loop, I have a current I1. What this dot represents, Noor?
So the current is outwards.
Outwards direction. Then is one current is inwards. And then we have another current which is outwards. We have three wires going through it. One is coming out of the plane, another is going inwards. There's one more wire which is coming out of the plane. The question says calculate. We're supposed to calculate line integral of magnetic field. The question says calculate.
That's I3, right?
Yes. Yes, I3, right, I3. Calculate line integral of magnetic field. Line integral of magnetic field. So see, for these type of questions, to calculate line integral, you have three currents. So you have to consider one of the current is positive. Abdullah, this coil is in X5 and these are going inwards and outwards, means current is along Z axis, either positive Z axis or negative Z axis. You're supposed to calculate the line integral of magnetic field. So whenever you have more than two current passing through the wire, then it's your choice to consider any of the current as positive. I consider this as positive, this as positive, so this is negative. If you want, you can take outwards as negative, then inwards would be positive. That's your choice. Now, once you have decided which current is positive, then the direction of the loop will depend upon the positive current. Do one thing. Take your right hand, place your thumb outwards and tell me what is the direction of loop you are getting. And please write your answer in the chat room. Is it clockwise or anti-clockwise? Take your right hand, place your thumb in the direction of current and tell me what is the direction of the loop. Is it clockwise, anti-clockwise, which one? Yes, no, you are right. Ahmed is correct. Shahzada and Abdullah. Take your right hand, place your thumb in outwards direction. Yes, Abdullah, it's correct. Shahzada, what's the direction of the loop? If you put your thumb in the outwards direction, then your fingers are going anti-clockwise.
Yes, sir. Anti-clockwise.
That's the direction. So what we can write is, we can do it in this way. It's B dot DL is mu naught I1 plus I3 minus I2. I1 plus I3, you will take outwards as positive, so we'll be considering this as negative. So that's the final answer. That was a 2-marker question. Or you can even write this as I2 minus I1 minus I3. If you're taking inverse as positive, then the direction of loop will change. Instead of anti-clockwise, it would be clockwise. Just note it down.
Certain.
Okay, so that's the last question for today. I'm not starting any derivation. From next week onwards, I'll be starting the derivation of Ampere circuit law. It's just a 1.5 hour topic. So maybe in the next class, I'll finish it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so let's stop here.
Thank you, sir.
Allah Hafiz.